Hello, everybody. It's Mrs. Pound, and I'm back with another chapter on electricity. We're going to study chapter 34 on electric current. And unlike static electricity, where there is no movement of the charges, with electric current, we're going to talk about movement of the charges. So our objectives for today's video are to describe the conditions for flow of electric charge, describe what is happening inside a current carrying wire and explain why there is no net charge in the wire, and give examples of voltage sources that can maintain a potential difference in an electric circuit. So first, we're going to talk about flow of charge. Now, I'm going to use some analogies, and in some of these cases, the analogies are good for some things and not for others. So keep that in mind. They're to help us with a particular topic, but when we talk about another topic in electricity, they might not be quite as helpful because something else might give a better picture, or it just is not the way it happens for electricity in another case. So when I use these analogies, they can only go so far. So the first thing we need to talk about is potential difference. This is the difference in an electric potential voltage between 2 points. Free charge flows when there is a difference and will continue until both points reach a common potential. So like water will not flow unless there is a difference in the potential energy. And so we have to have a difference in height. If there is no difference in height, the water won't flow. If the land was level, there would be no flow of the water. But because the land is tilted and there is a difference in potential energy from here to here, the water will flow freely. And that is true of electrical charge as well. There has to be a potential difference. There has to be, like when we studied static electricity, there has to be a difference in the charges, okay, in order for electricity to move. Charge will flow in a conductor due to a difference in potential between the ends of the conductor. So a voltage difference means that there will be current, just like in my example here, a difference in potential energy will cause water to flow. There has to be a difference in the potential from the ends of the conductor. So for example, when I bring a light bulb, and you guys saw this close to the Van de Graaff generator, okay, that generator has to be running. And so there has to be some charges accumulating on that generator. And then the light bulb, the other end that I'm holding, I'm grounding the light bulb. There has to be a way for those charges to flow. They have to be generated, they have to be grounded so that there is a voltage difference, there is a path for them to flow. So let's talk about electric current. Electric current is the flow of electric charge measured in amperes, and that is coulombs per second. An ampere is the SI unit of electric current. It is a capital A. It is a flow of 1 coulomb of charge per second is 1 ampere. So I wrote here too, 1 ampere is 1 coulomb per second. And when we're talking about current flowing, we're talking about if you sliced a wire um, in half and you looked at the circular cross section, that would be 1 ampere, or okay, 1 coulomb of charge passing that area in 1 second would be 1 ampere. And a current carrying wire does not have a net electric charge because the number of electrons entering the wire equals the number of electrons leaving the wire. The protons are relatively fixed in the wire. It is only the electrons that are moving, and there are equal numbers entering and leaving. So the wire is neutral. The wire itself does not become negatively or positively charged. And finally, let's talk about some voltage sources. So, a voltage source is a device such as a dry cell or a generator, also a wet cell, that provides a potential difference. Um, in dry cells and wet cells, you're going to have ions moving, and there's going to be in a battery chemical uh, energy that is converted to electrical energy. And in a generator, you have mechanical energy being converted to electrical energy. Also, some other examples of voltage sources are rubbing a rubber rod with fur and a car battery. Now, something to understand too is that charges flow through a circuit. So, current flows through a circuit because of an applied voltage across the circuit. Voltage does not flow. Voltage is that difference in potential, like tilted land, or sometimes it's also called pressure. So, think of water. Water does not flow, just like current does not flow if there is not an applied pressure to it or an applied voltage in the case of charge. So that is what causes the charges to flow is the voltage, the pressure. Um, Also, batteries act like a pump. The charges actually don't just flow from one end to the other, they actually flow through the battery, okay? And it is like a pump. Where when we were studying static electricity, bam, it's done. Batteries act as a more of a pump that keeps the water flowing. Um, and so a battery is a charge pump in a sense. So our objectives for today's video were to describe the conditions for flow of electric charge, describe what is happening inside a current carrying wire and explain why there is no net charge in the wire, and give examples of voltage sources that can maintain a potential difference in an electric circuit. So don't forget your 5 questions. And what I want you to do to show that you listened to this video is next to the voltage sources, um, draw I was gonna say, try to draw a pump of some kind. Use your imagination, I don't know. Or just write "pump" next to voltage source. That would be good enough. So, 5 questions and write "pump" next to voltage source.